Good evening and welcome to a happy event. I would like to start on behalf of the Iraqi Cultural Center with a special thank you to Andy Lowings and his colleagues, Jennifer Sturdy, Steph Connor, John Litcher and Amin Shati, for the mere idea of trying to create Sumerian tunes from what I think basically very little historical material, and also for recreating the Sumerian Qithara, or the lyre, the first musical instrument in history. Just a while ago we had at the Iraqi Cultural Center a guest from the British Museum who told Mr. Nigel Tallis, the curator of the Middle East Department, who told our audience all about the invention of the wheel in the Sumerian civilization some 5,000 years ago. And tonight we are telling it by tunes. This is the first concert for the group of Ibn al-Qithara since their return from Baghdad. And the Iraqi Cultural Center is actually in the process of organizing a tour for the group across the UK to deliver Sumerian tunes using this amazing recreation of the Qithara. We cannot wait to listen to it, and we wish you a happy night. Thank you.
On behalf of the Ibn Qithara group, I'm most honored to be here tonight to speak to the Iraqi Cultural Center here in London. It is for me a great honor to be here. Thank you, Dr. Rahman. Thank you, Amin Shati. Thank you for the Cultural Ministry to make this work, and thank you most of all for coming. And I hope you enjoy what we've tried to do and try to understand how we've got to where we are. I bid you all a great welcome on behalf of Ibn Qithara. We are a group of musicians and artists who are just inspired by the early music and archaeology of Iraq. It is a country that connects us all wherever we are in the world, because it's where humanity started, where culture and civilization started. So in a sense, we're all connected to Iraq. I'm going to just put a few words about the context of why we've done this and how we've done this, and I hope you can bear with us for a few minutes while I show you a few pictures of how we recreated the Qithara al-Sumeriya, or the lyre of Ur, as we say. I'm a harpist, a musician, and one day 10 years ago, almost to this week, in 2003, April 2003, I discovered this lovely picture of the Qithara al-Sumeriya in Baghdad. And I thought it was an interesting idea, perhaps as a hobby, perhaps as a pastime, just to maybe make it again and see what it might sound like. It's a well-kept secret. Nobody knows about this lyre. I think they do now. But in 2003, it was vandalized in the Iraqi National Museum, which was vandalized April the 10th, 2003. All musicians, like myself, were very upset about the damage that took place then. To the lovely images of these early Sumerians playing instruments like this old picture of an early player and a singer. This is in the British Museum from 2500 BC, about 5,000 years ago. Of course, this was archaeology of Iraq in Sumer, Nasriya. And this is a picture in 1929 of the instruments all laid out in a grave. 68 women went to their deaths. Apparently the last harpist, a person like myself perhaps, a lady perhaps, went to her death playing the lyre, playing the Qithara. And we'll tell a little story about that later on. You can see all the ladies lying down there, all with their lovely golden regalia, and apparently they had committed suicide. So it's a very sad scene, and for me as a harpist to know that perhaps the harp player played to her very end as she died struck me very much in 2003. So I decided to make this lyre properly. 2003, in the Iraqi National Museum, it was vandalized and the lyre was destroyed. This is a picture April the 10th, 2003, and until recently that is how it remained. They'd taken the gold off it, they damaged it, and the bull's head had been stolen. But I went to my friend Dr. Jalili, Ismail Jalili, a friend of mine, and asked him, do you think this is a good idea that an Englishman should make this instrument? And he said, it's a very good idea, and he'd taken interest in Iraqi culture. You'll be very surprised. I will get you wood. And he got me the correct cedar wood from Baghdad. In fact, a gentleman rang me up and he said, Mr. Andy, we have your wood. You must come and get it from Baghdad. So I was very touched that somebody should donate cedar wood from Baghdad, and I made a great attempt then to get it back to UK. And my friend John Letcher, who's here tonight, made it a great musician and a great instrument maker. We were lucky enough, because we got the wood, because it was a good project, and I said at the time we would really investigate Iraqi culture, and we would honestly bring this music to Iraqi people, to school children, to people around the world, to tell them this fantastic story about the old archaeology of music in Sumer. And a gold company in South Africa donated gold to the project, which was such a touching gesture. I have to say, still it leaves me quite emotional to think that they gave all of this gold for the project. We're a charity, we're a group now. 2/3 of a kilogram of gold is the right thickness, it's the correct gold. We've done everything correctly. A university helped make the gold bull's head, and we managed to persuade the Queen's goldsmith to help put the gold on the lyre for a week. And then we spent about 9 months putting on all the decoration that you'll see here. Gold, lapis lazuli, shell, and pink limestone from Mosul, all stuck on with bitumen. You can see here, I think you call it gir, which was used to stick on things way back in Sumer, and we got from a place called Heat in Iraq. Well, thank you to Lamia Galani, who sent a driver out from Baghdad to Heat to collect gir. It smells. Oh, it smells. The postman delivered it, and my cat ran out. We got the people from Loughborough to help, Loughborough University to help make the decoration and some of the jewellery, again with sheer. And London University helped us make the jewellery, which you can see, it's all the real gold. And we've had the Loughborough University helped us with a model, so we modelled the jewellery. We've had a lot of help from Iraqi people who have help from Baghdad, from England, and from around the world. So I'm very grateful to Ismail Jalili, the bass, Lamia Galani, and Maureen Jalili, the Mayor of Stamford, for being behind me right from the word go. And he said, good luck tonight. He's up there at Stamford and wants to know how we got on. Okay. And many people have been touched by the idea of the project of art and music crossing cultures, crossing boundaries, and in fact crossing time. And people have donated things, and only 2 months ago I got a donation from Baghdad, from a person I didn't know, named Sirin Ibrahim Agil from Baghdad. I met her when I went there last week and I thanked her. She sent me the cover. This is the cover for the lyre. It's hand stitched and it's perfect for the lyre. We had calligraphy sent to us from Denmark, and we've used the calligraphy on our poster, which we use to advertise the event. I think that means the Sumerian guitar. It's a lovely art form. When we made the project, we discovered that there were many people who perhaps have a connection to it. And this is a gentleman who sent me a picture from Basra of playing what looks to me like a very similar Qithara. This gentleman is named Abid Magid Juma, and he lives in Juma, and he lives in Basra. He works for the Balladeer. I've never met him, but it would be nice to meet him. This is the ladies on the stamps, I believe. There's Queen Porabi. And I think even there's some cigarettes.
There you go.
So we realised it's a very significant, well-loved artifact in Iraq. And the jewellery on Vogue in 1950, which we've copied. When we finished the lyre, about 5 years ago, we took it round to people and we said, what should we do with this? How should we use this? And this lady danced with it. She's from the Covent Garden Opera House. It's very nice that people are inspired by this lyre to do a dance. And we have shown it whenever we can to Iraqi people and involve them in the project. This is Donnie George of Baghdad and the cultural attaché in Washington when we played over there. And we play it wherever we can with music and words. And this was a great time when a gentleman who plays the lyre in Africa joined Tara Jaff, who plays the harp, and we played the lyre together for the radio. And that was a great evocation of what we are about, which is meeting cultures through music. This was a great event. Well, there's obviously, it's a long story, and this is just a taster of of the journey that we've been on. It's been the most wonderful present for me to go to Baghdad and to be invited to take the lyre there recently for the Arab City of Culture celebrations 3 weeks ago. Amin rang me up and he said, come on, Mr. Andy, you must come. And I didn't know anything about it. And he said, you must come. Give me your passport. I gave him my passport, and before I knew it, there was a visa in, there was a ticket there, and he said, come on, you've got to come. So it was a great honour to go there and to see wonderful music and dance there. There is a volcano of creativity and art waiting to be unleashed. It was electric to watch this. Of course, security is a big issue, but the people, you could tell, were so proud to create these dresses, these montages, these dramas. It was a magnificent place to be, and I do wish them the best of luck in the future. Even the army were brought in to help. It's a big thing. And we thank the Ministry of Culture. The ladies helped us a lot. Malak and her sister took us around Baghdad. And of course we took the chance to see some of Baghdad. This is Mutanabi. What a place! What a place! We stood there and I said to Amin, what do I do? What do I do? And he said, just stay there, stay there. And the shopkeepers were there, and we were there, and suddenly there was a hand extended, and he said, welcome, welcome. It was a very touching moment, because suddenly there was a great bond of friendship. Everybody said, what do you think of Baghdad? What do you think? What do you think? Do you like Iraq? What do you think? Welcome. So it was very nice, and just sort of typifies the excitement we had there when we visited. But it was all over too quickly, and we disappeared off, and I've still really to come down to land. It was so exciting. So I thank you very much for the trip to Baghdad, and I hope you will enjoy some of the music and how we bring the lyre to life again.
Her hand.
Good.
Bravo.
We are going to play not too long, 7 pieces, which is some singing, some poetry between Jennifer, Steph, myself and John, and we hope you enjoy this. We'll introduce each piece separately, tell you where it comes from. These are very, very old words from thousands of years ago. They might be a bit strange. I hope you appreciate them. We're going to try to speak some foreign languages, even a little bit of Arabic. And can I introduce my fellow players? Jennifer Sturdy.
I think this is probably the moment that you've all been waiting for, which is the unveiling of the gold lyre of Ur. If I can just briefly introduce the program of events that we are going to perform for you. There will be plenty of opportunities to photograph things at the end. So if you want to take more close-up photographs of any of the lyres, we have 3 lyres here today. We have the completed gold bull's head lyre. The smaller lyre here is known as the silver lyre. Unfortunately, we don't yet have the silver to cover it, but it is playable. And then you will also see a very much smaller Egyptian lyre, and all 3 of these lyres will be played during our performances. We are 4 performers. Andy is going to change into his costume because he is the lyre player. My costume is authentic as possible, and the headdress some of you will recognise is a copy of what is in the British Museum and was found in the grave of Queen Pu Abi. Steph's costume was recently donated to the project from a lady in Baghdad last week who makes theatrical costumes for productions over there. And the jewellery is again as authentic as we can possibly make it, and is copied from many of the jewellery items which are held in the British Museum. The pieces which we are going to perform, there is a combination. There is some songs, and there is some of the spoken word. Some of them are spoken poems, and the final item is a little story, an imaginary account. And we will introduce these items as we go along, individually. For some of the ones which are not sung or spoken in English, we will have some English translations on the screen. What is on the screen at the moment is a cuneiform tablet, and many of you will know that this is the original form of writing from this time, written on clay tablets with a little stylus, and people can read this language and then translate it. There are many, many of these tablets held in the British Museum, also in the Baghdad Museum and the Museum of Pennsylvania. I would ask a little patience for the tuning of these instruments. I'm sure you would appreciate that as they are replicas of very ancient instruments, it's actually quite difficult for them to remain in tune, especially tonight is suddenly quite a warm atmosphere and it changes quite rapidly. So sometimes we have to take a moment or two to adjust the tuning.
It's tablet number 11, and it's the flood narrative, and it's a small section of the epic in which Gilgamesh, hunting for eternal life, goes to find the only survivor of the great flood, Utnapishtim, and asks him what happened and how he survived. And this is what the flood hero tells Gilgamesh about the flood. He talks about how the human race was getting too noisy and making too many babies, so the gods decided to get rid of them. So they sent a great flood, and only Utnapishtim survived the flood, and all of the artisans and craftspeople and things that he saved with him. And he tells Gilgamesh how the gods created the flood, and then even the gods themselves were horrified by what they'd done and were scared and went running back to heaven. And Ishtar screams like a woman giving birth because she's so horrified at what's happening to all of mankind.
Ilaku gusanu shadow
Akuli ragali nasa ilak nimutar mishri ushari Anunnaki shudi parati na mamrish ukhamatum shada chuhara suibao shame mimman amruan etuti utiru Ishtar kima aliti ali aliti una bibeliti litabadrigma Anak ilan waktu limuti Anak inani aku limuti Kiak tempo karinani limutu Anak uluk ni siya tablak bima Anu maulada ni shuyama Kimarni unala tamtama Ilani anunnaki baku itisha Ilani anunnaki baku itisha Ilani anaki baku itisha Thank you. I have to warn you, you might need to cover your ears a bit in the next one, because this is the story of Ishtar's descent to the netherworld. Ishtar goes down to the netherworld to see her sister. No one's really sure why, but we don't think she was just going for a cup of tea. And on her way down into the netherworld, Ishtar arrives and encounters the gatekeeper who's blocking her way. And so she has bit of a temper and shouts at the gatekeeper and tells the gatekeeper that if he doesn't let her through into the netherworld, then she will unleash all of the dead onto the earth, and the dead will devour the living, and screams at the gatekeeper to let her in. So this is our interpretation of this song. The previous song and this song are both being sung in Babylonian, at least the best that we can do with what we know about Babylonian. So we're trying very hard to recreate the ancient language.
I think maybe I do need the microphone, but because my speaking voice is not as loud as Steph's singing voice. The next piece is a poem, a very short poem, taken from the epic story of Gilgamesh. And this is called Shiduri's Advice to Gilgamesh. I can actually still hear a huge amount of echo.
If I speak without the microphone, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
I would prefer to do it without the microphone.
Yeah, it's much better.
The words in this very short poem are words which may be familiar to you. When Gilgamesh asks advice about finding eternal life, the advice is that he is not likely to find it anyway, but in fact that he should enjoy his life as it is now. Sentiments which are echoed in many cultures and in many forms of literature. But even in these very early days, these early poems date from the same era as the Lyres, that is 4,500 years ago. Obviously these are modern translations into English, but the feelings, the emotions, the sentiments are enduring over the age. Some of you who are musicians may be very interested in the tuning mechanism which is used here. These are called tuning levers, and as you can see, the player turns them in order to tighten or to slacken the strings. And this is a method which is still in use today, particularly in many countries in Africa, where they have their own form of Qithara, their own form of lyre, and they use exactly the same tuning method. And it was from the African musician that you saw on one of the photos that we learned how to make these tuning mechanisms and how to operate them. So again, something which has continued in the same tradition over thousands of years. Shiduri said, "Gilgamesh, where are you roaming? You will never find the eternal life that you seek. When the gods created mankind, they also created death, and they held back eternal life for themselves alone." Humans are born, they live, then they die. That is the order which the gods have decreed. But until that time comes, enjoy your life. Spend it in happiness, not despair. Savor your food. Make each of your days a delight. Let music and dancing fill your house. Bathe and anoint yourself. Wear bright clothes that are sparkling clean. love the child who holds you by the hand, and give your wife pleasure in your embrace. That is the best way for a man to live.
We're about to do a modern translation of a Sumerian poem, and this is a section from a narrative about Qithara, who wants to send a message to his mother. So he gives the messenger a description of his mother to help the messenger recognize her. And I don't know about you, but if someone gave me this description, I'm not sure it would help me to find the person. He says things like, "She is the morning star, shining even at noontime. She is a precious cornelian, a topaz from Makasi. She is like a bright light." I suppose there aren't that many people in the world that look like that. Anyway, I would like to apologise for my pronunciation. I'm trying my best. وصفا آخر لأمي.
متلألئة من ذهب ولجين، لكنها حية تبعث الأنفاس. يا تمثال من الرحام لآلية حمية تنتصب على قائدة من العذور. يا تمثال صغير ينبض بالحياة، أطراقه يملأها الجمال.
Of ideas of how to attract the fish into this trap, and making them all kinds of strange promises which perhaps wouldn't normally appeal to a fish. And I like this very much because it's a very ancient poem, but very much in the style which is popular today of the poems of Roald Dahl and people like that. So people had a very acute sense of humour even in the very earliest days. The Poem of the Fish.
When we were in Baghdad, they took us down to the side of the river and they gave us a barbecued fish. It was very delicious. So this is in memory of the poor fish that provided our dinner. Majgoo.
My fish, I have built you a home. My fish, I have built you a house. I have built you a store. I have built you a house bigger than a house. In fact, a large sheepfold. In this house, there is incense, and I have covered it with cloths for you in this happy place. In this house, there is food, food of the best quality. No flies buzz around in your house where beer is poured out. The threshold and the doorbolt, the ritual flower and the incense burner are all in their place. The scent and aroma of this house is like an aromatic cedar forest. In this house there is beer. There is good beer. There is sweet beer and honeyed cakes. Let your acquaintances come Let your dear ones come. Let your father and grandfather come. Let your wife and children come. Let your friends and companions come. Don't leave your friends' children outside. Don't leave your neighbours outside, whoever they may be. Don't let the day go by. Don't let the night come. Or, if the day goes by and night comes, enter, and I will let you relax here. Inside I have made the ground suitable for you. I have fixed up a seat for you. My fish, no one who enters here is ever disturbed. No one who sits here ever gets into any quarrel. Enter, my beloved son. Enter, my fine son. As if you were in a river of brackish water, don't go investigating any canals. And may you not succeed in getting away. Face towards me. And may you not succeed in getting away. Face towards me, like a bull to the cattle pen, like a sheep to the sheepfold. Face towards me. May all kinds of fish enter with you, my fish. Time is pressing, just you come to me. Time is pressing. Nancy, the queen of the fishermen, will be delighted with you.
Very good. Very good. This is difficult. Yeah. Okay. In the center. In the center. Okay. Thank you.
We would like to perform for you our final two pieces. The first one is a song, and it is followed immediately by a story, and there will be no break. One will go into the other. So we will start with a song which is called Come, Sit, Draw Near, and it's a modern poem, and it was written by somebody who was very inspired by the story of the replica instrument, by the replica gold lyre. And so, although it had not been seen or played for many, many years, somehow through the replica, it has its voice back again. And at the same time, this very much parallels the story of modern-day Iraq. And so the voice has been silent for a long time, but now the voice is being heard again. So it's a kind of a poem, a song with a double meaning to it, both the lyre and the resurrection, if you like, of Iraq, the rebuilding of Iraq. And the final story, which is an imaginary account of the last day of the lyre player of Ur, and of the lady, the final lyre player, who goes to her death. And as you saw on one of the slides, there were 68 women in the grave, and there were 4 instruments found near the entrance, and the archaeologist who found them said the bones were found over, the hand bones were found resting over the lyre. So she would appear to have played until the last moment.
We seem to have a screen failure.
Never mind.
Shall we just turn it off?
Come, sit closer, draw near. My voice is weak, for I have not been able to speak for such a long time. And I do have things to say to those who will hear. Come, sit closer, draw near. Listen, and when you hear the melodies played upon my strings, you may hear words which are ready to be born, and you may hear words which say the time for lamenting is ended, and it is time to sing of joy. Come, sit closer, draw near. My voice is weak, for I have not been able to speak for such a long time. Come, sit closer, draw near.
Very good.
I am a lyre player. My name is Ishara. I live in this city here of 10,000 people, where my people came thousands of years ago, when they stopped their wanderings and settled down to raise their cattle and sheep in this lush valley between two rivers. I am very fortunate to be employed by our gracious Queen Puabi. I have the most wonderful instrument imaginable. The gods have indeed been kind to me to let me have such a wonderful creation. It has been carefully ornamented with shell, lapis lazuli, and pink limestone. But the most amazing feature of all is the golden bull's head, which adorns the front of the lyre. Today is the climax of my entire existence as a royal musician. I am to take part in the final ceremony for my beloved queen. There are 68 women and 6 men who are to be part of this final ceremony. For days now, men have been digging an enormous pit. It has a sloping access to enable the ox carts to carry into it all the goods which we may need in the afterlife. I am excited, but also a little apprehensive about the journey which I am about to undertake. I shall bathe and apply fine perfume. I shall dress in my finest robes. I have a necklace of little stone beads to tie around my neck. And my queen has given to all the ladies who are to accompany her special gold crescent-shaped earrings. I have makeup to apply to my eyes and cheeks in honor of this solemn occasion. My queen has also given to all the ladies who are to accompany her a special gold hair ribbon. It is a very fine golden band, and I have mine carefully rolled up in my pocket to tie in my hair later. All those who are to accompany the queen have also been given a special cup to take with them into the pit. I am not sure of its purpose, but I have heard tell that it is for some holy potion which we are to drink once we are all assembled. The priest has assured me that this will be a tranquil experience and that my lyre will accompany me to enable me to continue to play for my queen. My family is of course proud that I have been accorded the privilege of being one of the 4 royal musicians. The queen herself has a wonderful golden headdress with golden flowers, carefully decorated with pink carnelian and lapis lazuli, as befits her royal status. There are 5 guards, 5 grooms for the asses, and 10 close female attendants are now making their final preparations. The ox carts are laden with the goods which we need for the afterlife. I need to go now and make my final preparations. I am now walking slowly in procession down the slope which leads to the pit. Many people have come to watch this beautiful procession. The musicians are playing their lyres, and the 2 attendants are carrying the sacred golden rams, which are also to accompany us into the pit. Next to the room to which I am about to enter, I can see Queen Puabi lying on a bier, with an attendant crouching at each end, and her possessions carefully arranged around her. Everyone has a special position to occupy, and mine is at the entrance, together with my fellow lyre players. As I enter, the priest pours a little of the special liquid into the cup which I am carrying. As the door to the pit is closed, I drink it and play for as long as I am able to. I feel now so tired, I would just rest my arm across my lyre. A sudden thought occurs to me. My precious hair ribbon is still in my pocket. Is it too late to
Excellent. Very good. Excellent. Nice. Very good. Wow. Excellent. Very good. Well, fabulous. Very nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, excellent. Very good. Very good, Andy.
يا جماعة اسمحوا لي بالنيابة عنكم جميعا سادة وسيدات أحيي المركز الثقافي على هذه الأمسية. On behalf of all those in the audience, I salute the Iraqi Cultural Center for this evening, which will remain in our mind to the end of our lives.
Oh, thank you very much.
Very good. Very good, Andy. Excellent. Very much.